What's up, suckers? It's me. I'm back, and we are going to be talking about a little bit more productivity stuff today. We've only been talking about apps and a couple other things, but we're going to kind of get back to the start of this channel by talking about some productivity methods that I am a huge fan of that I just don't see too many people talking about, and I think that it needs to be talked about more. So before we get into that, obviously, if you are watching this video, this is your kind of thing. So please make sure that whether you are listening or watching, that you make sure that you like and subscribe. It helps me find new people. It helps new people find me, and that just makes me very happy. And who doesn't want to dole out some happiness? Anyway, so I know that we are pretty well aware of things like the Pomodoro method. I've brought up task stacking. We've talked about prioritization and how important that is. But there are a few different ways that I work with productivity that are just so important, and I don't feel like we talk about it enough, or maybe we don't talk about it at all. I'm not sure. So I wanted to talk about those a little bit more, and we're just gonna dive right back into number one here, which is theming. I've brought up theming a little bit ago when I was talking about the app Amazing Marvin, because it is one of the productivity options that you have when you are building your workstation, and I just think it is such a wonderful way to avoid overwhelm for ADHD brains. And if you don't know what theming is, it's essentially most helpful when you are a person who wears a lot of hats. Like if you kind of focus on one or two things, it might not be that helpful. But if you are a person who runs your own business, so you have to handle marketing, finances, hiring, God knows what else, content creation, or if you are a person who simply has a lot of different roles in your life. You know, you're a working parent, so you're a parent, you work, you have friendships that you have to keep up with, you have expenses that you need to keep track of, and all of the things that running a household and a family would entail. Theming is great because essentially all that is sticking with a theme or topic, or maybe two at most, that you focus on certain days of the week. So for example, when I first came out of being really sick for a month and wasn't really feeling like I had a handle on everything that I needed to do, theming kind of saved my ass, because essentially I said, okay, Monday is my content creation day, and Tuesday is for work operations, and Wednesday is for taking some time off from work and taking care of household stuff that's fallen behind. And what that does for ADHD brains is it not only forces you to think about the things that really need to get done, but it also takes that overwhelming feeling of I have 18,000 things to do, and it helps narrow it down to just one topic, one category, one thing that you have to focus on every day, which kind of also releases that pressure that you might be feeling when you realize that you have stuff to catch up on or stuff to do. And like I said, that can be helpful for work or life or both. I have talked to people who use theming for simply for housework. You know, they take care of like laundry and trash on Monday, and then Tuesday is a deep clean day, and then Wednesday is for organization. You can do it literally any way you want, but it makes it so that you kind of already have an idea of what you are pushing your mental energy and fortitude towards, so that you're not necessarily having to sit down and figure it all out from scratch on day one. Method number two is segmenting. And segmenting is very, very similar to theming, except it does not expect you to get as specific about categories, and it also makes it so that you can pick multiple categories throughout the day. Those of you who don't know what segmenting is probably do know what time blocking is, and segmenting is also very similar to time blocking, except when you are time blocking and you're saying, okay, from 7 to 7:30, I'm going to work out. From 7:30 to 8 o'clock, I'm going to take a shower. From 8 o'clock to 8:30, I'm going to work on some deep work, whatever. What segmenting does is it leaves you a little bit more wiggle room, just in case you are a contrary asshole like me and you don't like necessarily being told to the letter what it is that you need to be doing with your time. Instead, what segmenting would look like is saying, okay, from 7 to 7:30, that's going to be self-care time. From 7:30 to 8 o'clock, that's going to be my time to focus on hygiene. From 8 to 8:30, that's going to be me focusing on urgent tasks. So it makes it so that when you sit down to do whatever that thing is, you do have a little bit more control over what you're going to focus on according to where you are mentally, where your focus is, and where your energy is. Instead of feeling like you are committed to working on something that maybe you don't have to work on at that point and that you don't have the personal resources to deal with. In the last method 3, I don't have a more beautiful term for this, so if you have an idea of what to call it, please let me know. I just call it connecting tasks, and it has a lot to do with routine building and habit building. A lot of us struggle with building new daily routines, and I truly do believe that part of the reason for that is because we just try to shoehorn it into the life that we're already leading without figuring out where it fits. And to kind of explain what I mean by this, I am going to use a personal example. So I started realizing that what I really, really wanted to do is I wanted to start working a little bit more on my mental and physical well-being. I focus a lot on making sure that I'm fair to myself when it comes to energy and, what I eat. But I've been knowing for a while that I need to work out more. And so I decided that I was going to try to get to working out more and working out daily, but I really didn't want to fall off the wagon again, which is pretty much what always happens, right? I try to work out every morning and then eventually I'm like, I'm too tired, screw this, I'm not doing it. So this time I decided that in order to get on top of working out, that I was going to connect working out to one part of my morning routine that already existed, and that I was going to try to insert it in there before something that I generally feel like I need to be doing anyway, which for me was sitting down, having a nice hot drink, whatever I'm in the mood for, and studying my languages. And I have been able to actually stick with working out now for 2 weeks, even after I was forced to take some time off due to an injury. And the reason for that, and again, I want to make it clear, this is kind of conjecture because I'm not a neurologist, but I've dealt with a number of ADHDers to the point where I feel pretty positive on this. Part of the reason that it worked so well is because I was going to sit down and have that hot drink and study my languages regardless, because this is something that feels good to do in the morning. It feels like a good way to get my day started. So working out before that kind of fit in already, because I'm basically saying that this thing that I already do is going to have to wait until I finish this new thing. And I want to get to that next thing. So I'm working on the new thing to get to the thing that I'm already used to, and they wind up automatically both just becoming parts of my morning. The fact is, ADHDers need routine. We know this. But the fact is also that if we choose to throw off our routine by just trying to shoehorn something in there, it's not gonna work. The best way to make it work is to honor that routine you already have and somehow make the new thing part of the routine that you're already doing. And you may be sitting there saying, I don't really have a routine. I wake up whenever I want. I have breakfast or lunch, depending on what time it is. And then, I kind of just fuck around all day. I don't really know how to work that in, except there are things that you do every day. You wake up every day. You have breakfast every day, right? Maybe you screw around all day, but there might be something that you generally tend to do at the same time every day. It is going to take some looking at how you manage yourself and your time as it is, and figuring out how to fit that in with the things that you already do. But connecting those tasks to each other, connecting one that's already rooted in routine with one that you want to root in routine, is more likely to be easy for you to stick with ADHD. So there you have it. I hope it helped. I really look forward to making more videos more often, hopefully. And thank you very much for watching this one. Drink some water, and I will be looking forward to seeing you in the next video.